implications to the account of fallacies. Now, what are the implications to the account of fallacies? Let us see that. The difference between the accounts of good inference according to Dinnaga and Dharmakirti has implications to their accounts of a fallacious inference. Though Dharmakirti's account of fallacies contains most of the fallacies included in Dinnaga's account, it differs from the latter in some important ways. Here are some of the major differences. First difference is primacy of Hetvabhasa. In Dinnaga's framework of inference for others, all the three elements, namely the thesis, reason and instance, are all essential, and hence the fallacies of all the three are equally avoidable. In Dharmakirti's theory of inference, the reason with triple character or double character, you can say Vyapti and Paksha Dharmata, is essential. Hence, among the fallacies, only fallacies of Hetu, that is Hetvabhasa, become essentially avoidable. The other two types of fallacies lose their importance. So, this is first point. Now, the second point, the nature of Nyuna, the fallacy called Nyuna, that is insufficient reasoning. Let us see how it differs from Dinnaga to Dharmakirti. Both of them, both Dinnaga and Dharmakirti, regard incomplete or deficient reasoning, that is Nyuna, as a kind of fallacious reasoning, that is as a kind of sadhana bhasa. But the meaning of the fallacy changes when we pass from Dinnaga to Dharmakirti. According to Dinnaga, all the three elements, namely the thesis, reason and instance, need to be stated in an argument. Hence, not stating the thesis, not stating the instance would amount to Nyuna according to him. For Dharmakirti, only Hetu with its two aspects, namely Vyapti and Paksha Dharmata, need to be stated. Hence, not stating the thesis or not stating an instance would not be a case of Nyuna for Dharmakirti. Now, third point is fallacies based on dubitability, Sandeha. Dharmakirti makes some significant additions to Dinnaga's list of the fallacies, that is fallacies of Hetu. That is because for Dharmakirti, the relation between Hetu and Sadhya should be a necessary relation. So, non-existence of Hetu in Vipaksha should not only be a fact, but it should be impossible for Hetu to be present in Vipaksha. So, Hetu becomes fallacious even if one can raise a legitimate doubt that Hetu can possibly exist where Sadhya is absent. This gives rise to the fallacy called Sandiktha Vyatireka, that is doubtful negative concomitance, which we find in Dharmakirti's list of fallacies, but do not find in Dinnaga's list. Dharmakirti gives an example of this fallacy as follows. The person under consideration possesses attachment because he speaks. This is the argument. In this argument, speakerhood is the reason and possession of attachment is the target property, that is Sadhya Dharma. The person under consideration, such as the Buddha for example, is the subject term. Hence, the class of persons who possess attachment is the Sapaksha, that is similar cases, and the class of persons other than person under consideration who are free from attachment is the Vipaksha in this inference. This was an argument made by Mimamsakas against the Buddhists. Mimamsakas claim that nobody is absolutely free from attachments. Even the Buddha was not free from attachments. The reason they give is that the Buddha spoke. According to them, speech is a mark of attachment. Prima facie, the Hetu, that is speakerhood in this inference, possesses the three characteristics. How? Number 1, existence in Paksha. The Buddha was a speaker, so first condition is fulfilled. Second condition, existence in sapaksha. There are persons like you and me who have attachments and who are also speakers. So, second condition is fulfilled, and non-existence in vipaksha is the third condition. So, speakerhood does not belong to the class of attachment free persons. So, in fact, there are no attachment free persons according to Mimamsakas. Therefore, the third condition is satisfied vacuously. Now, Dharmakirti raises an objection against the Mimamsakas' claim that the hetu fulfills the third condition. According to him, it is not sufficient for Mimamsakas to show that hetu, that is speakerhood, happens to be absent from the class of attachment free persons, which is a vacuous class according to him, but he should show, that is Mimamsaka should show, that it is impossible for a speaker to be free from attachments, or that there is incompatibility between speech and freedom from attachments. No such incompatibility can be shown. In other words, though the hetu contingently fulfills the condition of triple character, it does not have necessary relation with sadhya, and this makes the hetu fallacious. Now, we come to the last point, which is very important. Is viruddha vyabhichari possible? In Dinnaga's theory of reasoning based on triple character of hetu, is viruddha vyabhichari possible? Since Dinnaga's theory of reasoning based on triple character of hetu was that of a strong analogical reasoning, it left open the possibility that there could be two equally strong reasons leading to contrary conclusions. Dinnaga, in his theory of inference, acknowledged this possibility in the form of the fallacy called viruddha vyabhichari. His example was like this: the Buddhist argues that the world is impermanent because it is a product like a pot. Against this, the Mimamsaka argues that the world is permanent because it is audible, that is Shravana, like the universal wordness. Here, both the hetus are good hetus insofar as they exist in their respective paksha and sapaksha and absent from their respective vipakshas. This can be seen from the following tables. So, I will give inference 1 and inference 2 in tabular form, and then let us see how hetu fulfills all the three conditions in their respective framework. So, the first inference is world is impermanent because it is a product. So, here what is a hetu? Hetu is being a product, sadhya is impermanence, paksha is word. So, the first condition is fulfilled, that is hetu exists in paksha, means world is a product. Now, what is sapaksha in this inference? Impermanent things such as a pot. Now, does hetu exist in sapaksha? Yes, hetu exists in sapaksha, that is the things like pot are products. Now, what is vipaksha in this inference? Permanent things like space. Now, does the hetu not exist in vipaksha? Hetu does not exist in vipaksha because things like space are not products. So, in this way the third condition is also fulfilled. So, the conclusion is that world is impermanent. So, this is how we can see how the first inference appears to be a good inference. Now, the second inference is world is permanent because it is audible. Now, in this inference, what is a hetu? Audibility. What is sadhya? Permanence. And what is paksha? Word. So, the first condition, that hetu should exist in paksha, is fulfilled. Why? Because word is audible. Now, what is sapaksha in this inference? Permanent things such as wordness, that is shabdatva, which is a universal, it is a sapaksha. Now, does the hetu fulfill the second condition? Yes, hetu exists in sapaksha because wordness, that is universal word, is audible. Now, what is vipaksha in this inference? Impermanent things like pot are vipaksha cases. Now, is hetu absent from vipaksha? Yes, hetu does not exist in vipaksha because a pot is not audible. So, hetu does not exist in vipaksha. So, third condition is also fulfilled. So, in this way the conclusion is word is permanent. By citing this example, Dinnaga said that because of causing doubt about the target property, both the hetus are collectively inconclusive. On the other hand, Dharmakirti's conception of a good inference was that of a sound inference, that is, it was supposed to be a formally valid inference, that is the conclusion of which deductively follows from the premises, and it was supposed to be a materially acceptable inference, that is the inference which contained true and only true premises. Given this framework of a good inference, the possibility of viruddha vyabhichari means the possibility of two sound inferences leading to contrary conclusions. It is obvious that such a possibility does not obtain. So, in this way we come across the following major differences between Dinnaga's and Dharmakirti's accounts of inference for others, as you can see on the screen. According to Dinnaga, inference for others has three components: paksha, hetu and drishtanta. According to Dharmakirti, inference for others has two components: paksha dharmata and vyapti. According to Dinnaga, mention of the thesis in the argument is necessary. According to Dharmakirti, mention of the thesis is not necessary as it deductively follows from the premises. According to Dinnaga, instantiation is necessary. According to Dharmakirti, instantiation is not necessary. According to Dinnaga, positive and negative concomitants do not follow from each other because they have different existential imports. According to Dharmakirti, positive and negative concomitants imply each other, hence only one of them should be stated in an argument. According to Dinnaga, since the nature of the inference is that of strong analogical reasoning, viruddha vyabhichari is possible, which is a kind of inconclusiveness. According to Dharmakirti, since inference is sound reasoning, viruddha vyabhichari is logically impossible. So, thank you very much for bearing with me.